And we are live. Conrad Francis, new member, and he is graduated to the gold status. So shout out to Conrad Francis in the building. Jay, what's good? Counterpunch to you. Always good when I'm live. And we have to talk, people. I don't know if you guys seen my recent rant, but it was straight from the heart. Okay. It really grinded my gears simply based on the fact that these fighters are getting messed over and in bad situations. You know, um, Martin Bakole, Joseph Parker, Agent Kabayel, Effie Ajagba, and it seems like the people that are fighting or want to fight are getting screwed over. It's almost like a secret society for fighters that only get concessions, and then some fighters that don't even want to fight at all are getting the concessions that they didn't even ask for. So we got to talk about this absolutely. But first things first, this is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and Artur Beterbiev, the former undisputed light heavyweight champion. The question is he finished? You know, and when I think about Artur Beterbiev, I can't help but to think about Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin was one hell of a fighter. Um, he was the reigning unified middleweight champion that actually tied with Bernard Hopkins with his whole quest to middleweight dominance. Okay. I think they were with, 22 title defenses. Let's look that up because I don't want to be wrong with facts. How many title defenses did Bernard Hopkins have? 20. Okay. How many title defenses did Gennady Golovkin have? 21. So, well, wait a minute. I think they were tied. I don't think he beat Bernard Hopkins' record because I think that would have been a thing. However, they were up there. Um, we got Mama Lou in the building. AR, what's up? Counterpunch to you. Oscar Henao. Hello, Kurt. Counterpunch to you. Hope all is well. Everything's good, man. Everything is good. Like a lot of these people, like the great, iconic, late Roger Mayweather, like he says, you know, they don't know shit about boxing. So let's inform people about boxing. Jay, is Beterbiev entering a decline? Do you think that the third fight may be as close as the last two fights? Let me tell you something, Jay. If that's the case, all right, if Artur Beterbiev fights like he did the second fight, I would be inclined to say yes. Because if you can recall, after round 7, it was all pretty much Bivol except for maybe round 11. Okay. And I noticed a decline in activity from Artur Beterbiev. Okay. Yeah, he is still one of the hardest punchers out there. However, you can tell he ran out of gas. He did a light, low key Zili Zhang because when Bivol started turning up like he did, unlike what he did in the first fight, because Bivol looked like he went on survival mode. Let me just skip around this ring and try to, throw little sporadic flurries here. What meanwhile, Artur Beterbiev is knocking him where he wants him to knock him. He's knocking him around the ring. And I can understand now if you look at the first fight and the second fight, which were two very good fights. You've seen how Artur Beterbiev turned it up in the first versus the second. He didn't turn it up because it was like it was nothing to turn up. So I would say if he fights like he did in the second fight, we're more inclined to say that he is on the decline because he looked, compared to the first fight, on the decline in the second fight after round number 7. So I hope that explains it with Artur Beterbiev. Canelo versus Artur, how you see it? I see Artur Beterbiev in Canelo. I see that in absolute war. And I'm going to tell you why. That would probably be more like Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez 2. Simply based off the fact that Golovkin was moving forward. Golovkin um, didn't have to chase Canelo because Canelo was playing the catch and shoot, the counterpunching game. He allowed Gennady Golovkin to come towards him, and he set up those shots, the winding hooks, the body punches, the uppercuts. That fight. Matter of fact, that's the type of fight you want to see. You want to watch that fight over. You know, that was a very competitive fight. Canelo versus Gennady Golovkin was very, very good. Gennady Golovkin, though, they say, well, he lost. Well, it's a Canelo show. And understand, this is the Canelo that was with who? Golden Boy. Golden Boy, Canelo Alvarez could not lose a fight since Mayweather with Golden Boy. He just wasn't going to lose. You see what I mean? So they had shit in play, so that Canelo Alvarez wouldn't lose anyway. Okay, so let's call it a buck. But no, or Canelo versus Artur Beterbiev. And see, here's the thing. I'm kind of to the point where if Beterbiev, if he doesn't knock you out, that would be a good fight. Because see, if he stopped Canelo, and then Canelo already had problems with Dmitry Bivol, but this is a 40-year-old Artur versus a Canelo Alvarez that I feel that's on the decline his damn self. I think Canelo Alvarez is not the guy from 3 or 4 years back. He's a guy that's been on the decline for a while. It's just people don't want to admit it. The Jane Ryder fight. Ever since he stopped Caleb Plant, he showed you glimpses in parts and spaces in his fights that he's Canelo, but he doesn't do that throughout the fight. He's not been able to finish. So I don't know if that's a physical thing or a mental thing or a fusion thing. Maybe it's a combination. Maybe he just doesn't feel he needs to do these things. But he's dropped Belonga with a one shot. He's dropped Jaime Mugia, with that uppercut. And these were earlier in the fight. So you think to yourself, like, okay, when do you hit that gear to turn it up to get these guys out? There was no other gear. So it's just like Canelo likes coasting these days. Meanwhile, if he went up to 175 to take on Artur Beterbiev and he doesn't have to chase you, that's going to be a dangerous fight for Canelo because Canelo doesn't have footwork like that. Now, if he tried that that Golovkin one, the way he fought Golovkin, that may be the best route. But if he tries that Gennady Golovkin rematch, the second fight, he might end up getting stopped or busted up pretty bad. But Canelo can punch, and Canelo sets up uppercuts his damn self. So it ain't just like the hunter and the rabbit, because it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, right? And Canelo will have a gun, but Canelo will be the rabbit. Don't get it twisted, because Artur Beterbiev will be coming. And I don't know if he will be able to take shots from Artur Beterbiev despite the chin that he has. You may be witnessing a situation from Canelo like we witnessed from Joe Joyce. You guys remember Joe, the Juggernaut Joyce. They don't call him that no more, do you? You just hear Joe Joyce. You don't hear the Juggernaut no more. You just hear Joe. Hey, you talking about Joe Joyce? Yeah, Joe Joyce. Damn, what happened to the Juggernaut? The Juggernaut's dead. You know who killed the Juggernaut? Zhang. But Zhang, I think, was the ass end of all the residual punches that he received over the years. You know what I'm saying? So, pretty soon you keep getting hit in that sweet spot, in the jawline, in the head, up here by the cabeza. You start getting hit like that, eventually that shit's going to crack. Unfortunately for Joe Joyce, it happened. And I think Zhang softened him up, then he cracked it later in the second fight. So let's see. Let's go on to the next question. But yeah, I think that fight, I would love to see it, honestly. And I think actually that would be a better fight or a more winnable fight for Canelo. It might be more dangerous. But at that point, if Canelo fights Artur Beterbiev, you can't say he's ducking David. But then again, at the same token, fighting Artur Beterbiev would be like fighting David. Why? Because you're fighting nothing to offer. But then, a guy that beat Dmitry Bivol one fight, and Dmitry Bivol came back and fought him, he would want to fight Dmitry Bivol, But, based on what he said, he should want to fight Dmitry anyway. Agree. He was tired, and that's something very rare because one of the greatest attributes is his gas tank and turning it up in later rounds. Yeah, Jay, maybe the age is coming to get him because that is something that could have won him the fight based on the tightness of the fight. That fight was close. So really all Artur Beterbiev should have done was just, just kicked out the punch output. He should have just upped the ante on the punch output and just start throwing shots to the shoulders, to the forearms, to the biceps, to the chest, to the body. And that's one thing I noticed. I was like, okay, Dmitry Bivol was moving a lot, but he was also throwing a lot. Okay. So it wasn't one of those situations where, even like the first fight, Dmitry was moving, but he wasn't throwing like that. He was just having his hands up trying to survive the onslaught that Artur was putting upon him. Artur was coming in throwing those bows. He was coming in back, 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 back. You know what I mean? And even when you're in the clinch, those guys from Eastern Europe, Gennady Golovkin, Artur Beterbiev, those guys are able to hit you while you try to clinch them. And those shots hurt because those short punches, just like Artur is accustomed to throwing, are hurting you just the same. So you look at Bivol's face after that. Bivol looked like he was in a damn train wreck. And he won the fight. So you can't say, is it like when I say decline, I mean he's not what he used to be. Decline. I'm not trying to take anything away from Artur because I like Artur, but I seen the change in the second fight. I didn't see that guy in the first fight like he came back and dominated those rounds because honestly, from rounds I think 4 or 5, I think it was 4, 5, and 6. It looked like that fight was about to go all Beterbiev. He looked like he was breaking down Bivol. He looked like because he was hitting Bivol more cleanly. And and Bivol was like, oh snap. He hit Bivol and Bivol flew from this side to that. Like, remember when Anthony Joshua hit Otto Weiland and Otto Weiland flew this way? Like the same thing happened with Artur when Artur hit Bivol and Bivol flew. I was like, damn, that punch was hard. And you got to give credit to the dragon, okay? The Russian dragon, Dmitry Bivol, because he took that shot and he kept coming. He kept composed. He didn't go all over the place, and I know he was hurt, but he kept his composure. He stayed focused. He kept his guard up. He kept the defense up, because if not, a lot of times people go to pieces, when they get hit like that and they get hurt like that. David Mick, we got to see a third fight with Bivol before he retires, which for me, Bivol wins again. Bivol won the first fight, in my opinion. This is my concern, okay, about Bivol. My concern about this whole third fight is age. We've seen what happened in the second fight. And the question you ask yourself, why did Artur run out of gas? Why? Why did he run out of gas? And if it's because he's just getting older and his body is not performing the same way he did a year ago, or even the last quarter when they fought last time, that means that won't help him any. That means he can't do anything to improve. You know what I mean? The only thing that he could do would be something that's not legal. You know what I mean? Yeah, on the juice, but no. Other than that, there's nothing natural that you can do to give yourself stamina, to give yourself more energy. I mean, you could try new things, but, is Canelo washed? I don't think Canelo's washed, but I think Canelo is not where he's supposed to be. Bill Keaveney in the building, counterpunch to you, caught him in the top of the head. Strangeness, he did catch him in the top of the head. And in fact, he caught him in the top of the head, and that shows you a lot about Dmitry Bivol. He's a solid fighter, and he has a solid chin, and he can take solid shots. Babs Z 627 counterpunch to you with his 4 knuckles. Yeah, that dude has some knuckles like a freaking, I don't know, dude. His knuckles look like brass knuckles because they look kind of deformed, Yes, it's over for Artur. 40 is different. You know, Bill, I say this, it's crazy because he doesn't have long left. And, for you to see that the change from the first fight from 39 years old to the second fight at 40 years old and had that type of drastic, well, not drastic change, but you can definitely see it was a change. There you go. And I don't really like, okay, if Artur did all he can do at age 40, there's no need to see another fight because all you're going to do is witness something that we've already seen from past time continuum. One example, Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez 3. That shit was pathetic. Gennady Golovkin was 40 years old and he was not the same fighter as he was when they fought back in 2018. Because they fought in 18, or was it 19? I think it was 18. So he wasn't the same dude at all. Bill was just a great mover. That's what slowed Bill Beterbiev down. I don't know. I think he just threw more punches. I think he moved more, but he threw more in this fight. And that threw him off because a lot of times Dimitri in the first fight, he would move, but when he would slow down is when he was getting attacked. And he didn't really want to land like that. And I think he was willing to throw shots. Um, I'm sure Artur Beterbiev is one hell of a fighter, though. Is he the best? No, he's not the best. But he's one hell of a puncher and he's one hell of a fighter, you know? Stop with the age. I'm trying to say voice clip. Prime Kovalev versus Bivol. I don't know because Kovalev was an absolute monster when he was younger. He was an absolute monster. I mean, you know, he's a certified killer. Conor Ben press conference starting. Another one, another press conference is starting. Let's see what's happening with Conor Ben. Let's see what's going on. I seen something like that on Sky. What did you guys think about the egg? Chris Eubank Jr. slapping that egg in his face of Conor Ben. Usyk is 38, pushing 40. Mark and still looking fresh. Well, I mean, he's 38. He's a couple years younger than Beterbiev, exactly about 2 years, because Beterbiev's his birthday is on the 21st of January, where Usyk's birthday is on the 17th of January. So he's almost 2 years older, right at 2 years older than Alexander Usyk. That cut in the last round was nasty. If Beterbiev could have cut him in rounds 8, he could have done some nasty work. Yeah, it would have affected him. But you know what? I believe that Bivol would have fought harder. He would have fought harder. I think Beterbiev is beginning to slow a bit. Kurt CP Marlon Thornell. I think so too. Ben and Eubank are the most forced fight. The egg was all part of the show. Fake heat, nothing like their dads. Father Time knocks at the door randomly. Yeah, it does. Bivol versus Benavidez. Benavidez is not fighting anybody. Let's just be real. He's not fighting anyone. He's not fighting anyone. Let's just call it like Benavidez is okay. If he does fight one of those fighters, it's going to be because Al Heyman said so. And that's kind of rare these days to have someone that doesn't even have the pull, that's not even really, fulfilling their fighters and getting their fighters fights, that are still calling the shots, and you're still connected with this guy. It's actually kind of strange, and it's lame, but it's like I can understand if this was like 3 or 4 years ago. Nah, man, I'm with Al Heyman and all that. There is no one he could fight. Who could he fight? Badu Jack? And I don't even think Badu Jack is there. Oh, Nigel Benn grabbed Chris Eubank. Now, okay, now I noticed I said, well, Conor wasn't near him. So it was Nigel Benn that grabbed Chris Eubank. I don't know, because see, someone with old man strength like that, if an old man grabs you by your throat, you're gonna have to kill him to let it go. It's almost like a pit bull dog, and he grabs you and he clamps down. You're not gonna let it. He's not gonna let go. Benavidez is still wanting Canelo. Yeah, but see, what he doesn't understand is now Canelo is with the zone. It's because of the PBC cult. Do you think Bakole would be a different? Yeah, man, I think that was fake right there because the way he had him, they would have to grab him and he would go with Chris because he wasn't going to let go of his throat if that was real. So nah, I don't think though. I don't think that was the case because if Nigel Benn would have grabbed, I got whoop you, son. You got that lisp, Mike, what's Mike? Oh, buddy, kill you, bruv. Right? I do hate your father. I hate him. Yeah, man. So, Luke Kurt, how long you think it will take to get Al Heyman working with Turkey? I don't think he will. I think Al Heyman is going to go down with the sinking ship. I really think that. I think by this time he hasn't done it because he's sit back and he's watched everything that Turkey's done. He's watched what he's did. He's watched the money that he's put out. He's watched his fighters leave. Let me tell you guys something about Al Heyman. Al Heyman is exactly where Oscar De La Hoya was years ago. Okay. How about the whole PBC working with Turkey? I don't think that's going to work. I think the people that are working with Turkey are smart enough to know that you have to know when to fold and when to hold. And like guys like Keith Thurman, the Charlos, Adrian Broner, there's only so many that are just still there like idiots. And they're only fighting like once every 2 years. It's sad because it's like, dude, if you're not boxing and you're signed and you're not working, why are you still in your same position? Glad I caught you live. Been a minute. CJ, counterpunch to you. Bakole beat Jared Anderson and became the boogeyman. I think Luis Ortiz would have beat Jared Anderson that night. I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. I think Luis Ortiz is old. I think Luis Ortiz punch resistance is gone. And to say that, I just don't understand it because Luis Ortiz, if you know anything about him, he's not the same guy. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him. But again, his last fight was in Colombia. You think that was an Al Heyman fight? No. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. People are branching out. How about the whole PBC working with Turkey? Okay, so I think Parker versus Usyk would be good. Parker just keeps getting better. Well, Parker has a team behind him. Parker has a hell of a trainer. The same trainer that was trained by Emmanuel Stewart that taught him how to be a good trainer himself. So what you're seeing from Joseph Parker is a handed down instruction and tutelage of the great Emmanuel Stewart. That's what people don't understand. See, Andy Lee's a hell of a trainer, and the camaraderie and the relationship that they have between Andy Lee and Joseph Parker. Understand, Joseph Parker is an honorary gypsy. He hangs around, like if he goes somewhere, he's gonna hang around Tyson and them and John and Andy. They're like family. Just like Andy came over to Detroit or Michigan, and he was him and Manuel Stewart. They were like this. Yeah, MPR. Yeah, Luis Ortiz's last fight was in Colombia, bro. He fought some Colombian. Of course, he beat him. You know what I mean? It's not that he can't win fights. It's just he's not up for the opposition to do anything important, anything on the level. He's not going to be that way. He's not that type of dude anymore. It's over for him. Artur will only be worse in a trilogy. I don't see him getting any better, and I see Bivol now knowing how to beat him. It will probably be easier for Bivol because Bivol knows, like, okay, just keep just keep it moving with him. Just don't let him land. Because when he lands, if he's able to land, he's going to keep landing, you know. And understand one thing I learned about Artur Beterbiev, he's not a big combination puncher. He's like a 2 or 3 shot fighter. You know what I mean? He will bash you and bang you, but then if you move, he can't put those punches together. Therefore, he won't throw them. You know what I mean? Because Artur doesn't waste a lot of shots either. So he's very methodical with what he does. You know what I'm saying? So he mostly he has the high guard, then he'll jab, then he'll jab, then a right hand, then you know what I mean? Then but he's not gonna just unload. He's not gonna throw like da, 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 da. He's not gonna waste punches. His punches are precise because he's trying to time you with certain shots that hurt you. It's crazy. I think Usyk is a bad matchup. I think Usyk is a bad matchup for Usyk. Parker has made his name off of beating big slugger punchers. I mean, listen, if Parker can't knock out Usyk, he won't beat Usyk. I'm just going to keep it a buck. He has to pull round number 2. He has to hurt Usyk. Now, can he do that? I think he can because he's not as big as those guys. The Usyk is one of those guys that he's made his name off of beating bigger guys like Joshua, like Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? He's able to do that because he's used his size to the advantage. Those guys are punching down at Usyk, where Usyk is better punching up at them. Rod, do I think Luis Ortiz can beat Mike Tyson? You mean now? I don't know. Probably so. Probably so now, you know. So I'm waiting for this press conference to start. I don't see anything there. I mean, yeah, I think he can do it now because I mean, Luis Ortiz is a guy that's been in shape. Tyson ain't in shape. Tyson just has good fast twitch muscle. He has good muscle memory. You know what I mean? That's why I know that fight with Jake Paul was a fake because the way he was grabbing and biting on his it was like he was trying to he made his money, man. Mike made his money. Mike Tyson made his money. Mike's 60 years old, bro. Leave Mike be. Mike did it for the paycheck, you know. So it is what it is. Anis Amara. Caballero needs a good promoter, in my opinion. Hearn needs some heavyweight stars under him. Frank is stacked with heavyweight stars. Well, if Eddie was smart, he would have got Caballero a long time ago. But I think he's still trying to run and he's trying to squeeze that last bit of blood out the turnip. And that's Anthony Joshua. Anthony's made him so much money. I think he's just, by faith and by, history purposes, he's going to stick with AJ. Fair enough because, Frank stuck with Daniel. So Artur is strong, but Bivol has technicality and decent enough power to. So technicality won the day. If it wasn't a big card, they should have never ever made that fight happen with Joseph Parker and Bakole. No belt, nothing. Robbed Joseph. I mean, it robbed everybody. Joseph got nothing special. He didn't get anything from it. Just another name on the. He got paid. He got money, but I mean, it didn't mean anything. He defended that WBO status that he has, the interim. But other than that, I mean, I don't think that that's. I don't think that that's the case at all. Her needs Jololoff. I haven't seen Jololoff to make it. I've seen clips of him. He looks like he's an awkward southpaw with good footwork, but I need more. I need to see him in there with somebody that has a pulse. I keep hearing about Bakare Jololoff. But I mean, all I know and I've seen, he's undefeated. Then he decided to compete in the Olympics. Now he's back to the pro. I mean, like, dude, you're doing too much, man. You're doing too much. You know, you were in the Olympics before. You know. Good evening, Kurt. I love how you're doing. I love how you're doing daily in consistent lives. Nikki Blue Eyes Austin. Yeah, I'm trying to stay in there, man. I'm trying to stay in the fight. You know, here's my thing. I'm trying to stay in there and keep live things going. Be more interactive. You know, I haven't had a show. My show, Lioness season 3 was pushed back to May, so I'll be doing a lot of live. So this will be my full time thing. Then, you know, I'll be a full time YouTube counterpunching guy. Gym, church, YouTube. You know what I mean? Probably in that order. But what is happening to the stream? It keeps breaking for me. I don't know. I have no idea. It's insane. Beterbiev can still go 12 rounds with Bivol at 40. Well, that's a way to look at it. You know, I think we need to look at it like that. You know, I think we very much need to look at it like that. You know, because a lot of people are not. Joshua is out soon. I mean, but Frank have already Toma and Dubois both have great futures. Eddie needs Carvalho, and Carvalho really needs some one that can handle the mic for him. Yeah, he's not a trash talker. He's just a good guy. You know, Carvalho's not trying to do all that. He's not trying to do all that. Parker should probably beat Usyk because of his southpaw stance, ring IQ, and a bit of power. I don't think that. I mean, if he does, it will be that way. Nikki Blue Eyes Austin. Oh, we're in for boxing lives. Times. Times. Much. Absolutely. I think Zhang and Bakole are worse matchups for Usyk than Parker. You know, you listen. No one gets a pass. Usyk needs to fight different challenges. For me, I look at Usyk taking on Dubois. I ain't got on that Dubois train. I respect for what Dubois done. I mean, you know, but I mean, I'm not jumping. I can't jump on that train like that based on the fact it's not about Daniel at all. It's about Usyk. Usyk has already beat Daniel Dubois. He showed that he's better. He showed that he can hurt Daniel, and he showed that he can hurt or intimidate Daniel past the mentality rate of quitting. So not only can he hurt Daniel, he can make Daniel quit. Not only is he faster, better, and everything, he can make him quit. It doesn't matter. See, here's the thing. If we've already saw that, how much of a challenge you think that is? I don't buy that shit. Oh, Daniel's going to be better this time. How? Because let me keep it a buck with you guys, okay? Do you guys understand the reason why people say Daniel's on the juice? Do you see why? Do you know why people are saying that about Daniel Dubois? People are saying that Daniel Dubois is on the juice simply based off the fact that he no longer quits. And that's that. They're only saying that because what happened to him? What happened to him that made him take shots now and not get out on the ground like shit, like an earthquake's coming? You know, how and why is he taking these shots? That's why people are saying he's juicing. Exactly. Oh, Isaac, I prefer fresh fights too. But what I'm saying is, what challenge does that leave for Usyk? It's just almost like it's not about Daniel. It's about Usyk. It's almost like giving Usyk an easy way out. Like, okay, I beat Daniel back in 223. Then I beat Tyson Fury twice. Now I'm gonna fight Daniel again. That's not a challenge to me because I've already done that. That's no elevation in my career. That's really not even a consistency of what I normally do. What Alexander Usyk does, he fights bigger and better and newer opponents. So when he decides to go backwards, the progression stops. If the progression stops, the performances might stop. I don't like that at all. Usyk low key toying with Triple G, with Triple D, Booster Juicer Kurt. You know, even though I found out, like, I don't look. People are saying that. Like, well, what can he do? What can he offer? How has he changed? How has he changed? He ain't. He can just take punches now. So that means he won't quit. That means he'll actually try. You know what I mean? Like after a fifth round. Because Dubois was punching. I mean, and he just, dude, that's scary. Like, what changed with Danny Dubois? From quitter to booster juice, Kurt. Usyk was low key toying with Triple G. I mean, look, listen. That's not a challenge to me. I think it's insulting to Usyk to offer him that. He says and the only reason he's doing it because he wants that damn belt. That's the only reason he's doing it. And I get why he's doing it, but it holds no true challenge to him. Him getting that belt, and really you're looking at it now like, okay, well, how much credit would you give Usyk for beating Danny Dubois again? Well, I guess for all the people that jumped on the Danny Dubois wagon after he iced AJ, I guess they'll finally start clapping because it won't be me. Because I already can tell you right now, Usyk will beat the shit out of Danny Dubois and probably make him quit again. And then his silly ass hadn't even been prepared with someone that has mobility like Usyk, like he would have if he fought Parker. Parker would have got him prepared, like I've told you guys. But that's not what happened. That's not what will happen. And he'll go in there and he'll get beat worse than he did last time. I'm going to tell you why. Because when Usyk comes in, Usyk knows what he's dealing with. He's coming with a guy with a decent jab, but he knows how to feint and he knows how to avoid that jab. And he knows how to counter that jab. His footwork's better. He's quicker. Even at age 38, he's that way. Unless he gets old overnight. That's the only thing that would help Daniel in that fight. Hope that Usyk gets old so I can come in bold. That's the only way that Daniel will make any difference. And see, if he doesn't quit, he's just going to get hit more. It ain't the fact you can't hit Danny Dubois. Okay. Usyk only wants to fight Triple Knee because of what happened after the Fury fight. Personally, I think Usyk will prefer to fight Dubois than Parker or Caballo. Better to fight the devil you know. No, it's not. But I get what you're saying. It's better for that fighter to. No, it's easier. So you're just saying it's easier to take an easier way out. I don't buy that shit, bro. I don't buy that at all. I think Usyk's better than that. And I sure the hell don't want him to fight fucking Alex Pereira. What the hell is he fighting him for? What is he doing that Mayweather bullshit for? Crossover fight. That does nothing for Usyk. I think he's better than that, and I think he needs to be challenged like any other champion. That's what I think. Nobody gets a pass. Oh, let him take the easy way out. No, I'm not. I don't care about undefeated records. If Caballo can beat Usyk in a fight, let's see it. If Caballo can challenge him in a good fight, in a competitive fight, let's see it. Let's see how good Usyk really is. Is he the best in the world? I did the shit about with Fury. When Fury's the best. Yeah, I'm like, you can't beat Usyk. Right? But then again, who says someone else can't beat Tyson Fury? Well, how about this? Who says that Caballo can't beat Alexander Usyk just because he's popular, just because he's the guy that holds the belts, just because we've got accustomed to knowing and we're comfortable with the idea that Usyk is the best. But let's understand this: Usyk has to keep fighting fresh and new challenges to be considered the best. So you have to fight for that status. It ain't something you sit on a throne and just sit there and do nothing. No, that's bullshit. That's not boxing. That's politics. That's what the politics of boxing wants you to think or wants to happen. But that's not the case. The reality is, how good are you? You got to keep showing that shit each and every fight. Reigning and defended. You have to reign, defend, to keep. That's it. Conor Benn has just reached the panel. Father Time beats Usyk. Well, you know, I hope his wisdom does it all.
Time IBO Super Middleweight World Champion and the current IBO World Middleweight Champion. And he is Chris. New generation.
Oh shit. Turn that off. I'm not giving Dr. Dre no money. Boom! That will shut off in a minute. And damn, they checking his ass. Check him for eggs. Checking Chris Eubank for eggs. Usyk is pushing 39. Ali was catching losses at 30. Well, understand though, those were different times. 15 rounds, more fights, and also Usyk has never been denied to fight for 4 or 5 years because he was fighting in the Ukraine. Now, was he? No, or refusing to fight in the Ukraine. See, that's the difference too. That a lot of people, Usyk is better than Ali. Let me tell you guys something. Usyk didn't have to deal with the shit that Ali had to deal with. Ali, in his prime years, couldn't even fucking fight. Let me say that again. Ali, in his prime years, couldn't fight. His boxing license was snatched because they called him a coward because he didn't want to come over or go over to Vietnam and kill innocent people. He didn't want to do that shit. And that's why, understand, that's what the soldiers were getting the rap for. Not all of them did it, but a lot of them did it. A lot of them did it. They SA'd women, killed children. Yes, a lot of them were high out of their minds. A lot of those soldiers came back high off of opium and heroin. These are facts. Okay, that war was disgusting. It was the one of the longest wars we've had. It was from 61 to 75. Shit was 14 years. Now to come around from the same thing that they snatched from Ali. Now, oh, we shouldn't have been over there anyway. Oh, now you don't say cunts. You don't say. Now you say you shouldn't have been over there. So when Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali, was saying, "I don't want to go over there and fight these people for these amount of reasons," you threw the book at him. Really, they should have paid Ali the amount of money that he would have made. That would have been dope. Moses could fight Charles Martin if they keep getting heated between them.
Versus Aaron McKenna, Anthony Yarde, Jacob Lindenhofer again, Crispin Smith versus Brandon Glanton, and my favourite part of the undercard, Riyad Riley will take on Chef Clark, another matchroom versus showdown. The event is being brought to you by Ring Magazine, SNK Corporation, of the famous video fighting game Fatal Fury City of Wolves. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing and Ben Shalom of Boxer, and the event will be broadcast on the Zone Worldwide and Sky Sports box office in the UK and Ireland. When this fight was officially announced about 6 weeks ago, I remember Eddie telling me this will be bigger than when it was happened in the autumn of 2022. I completely disagreed. I didn't know if it could be bigger. Then the 0-2 pre-sale record was done. This time round, I think you probably all saw Eddie's tweet, the pre-sale record has been broken again. And this will be not just the biggest fight in the UK this year, undoubtedly that's fact. It'll probably be one of the biggest fights we've ever seen in the UK. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. All right, there are many people on stage. I want to run through this very, very quickly. I just want to quickly say hello to Jonathan Banks down there, Ronnie Davis, Ronnie, see there you go, Ben Shalom, Chris Eubank Jr., Eddie Hearn, Nigel Benn, Conor Benn, and Tony. It's been great to have you here as well, Tony. I want to start with you, Ben. This time we didn't really get to hear from you much last time. Again, an incredible event. You wasn't part of what should have been their first fight. How did it feel to be part of this one?
Oh, it's incredible. I knew it was big when we got the deal done, but yesterday was special. I want to thank all the media as well as the fighters. The media reception and pickup of this, every front page, every back page of every newspaper. It just feels big. It feels bigger than boxing. It feels bigger than sport. This is going to be the biggest event of the year. And it's Chris Eubank Jr. against Conor Benn. The first one felt like form rivals. This one, it's not to do with the dads anymore. This is about 2.5 years of rivalry, 2.5 years of controversy. And now we're here for one of the biggest events in boxing, the biggest event in British boxing.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I echo that as well, Sam. Not just in British boxing, I think one of the biggest events in boxing this year. Let me bring in Chris Eubank Jr., the champion. It's right, I speak to you first. They all say it's all fair in love and war, but did you cross the line at the end of the press conference on Tuesday with the neck and the slap in the face?
Did I cross the line? I mean, you know, during this whole process over the last 2.5 years, I think many lines have been crossed. You know, I'm sitting up here today on a stage with two of the scummiest characters in boxing, in my opinion. A drug cheat and a man who did everything in his power to help him get away with it.
Oh.
So,
Whoa.
me throwing an egg at somebody who absurdly claims that that is the reason why he failed 2 drugs tests because of contaminated eggs, I think that's light, and I think that's deserved. He deserved the embarrassment of what happened. You know, if I had an opportunity to do it again, I would. I come unarmed today. I've been thoroughly searched multiple times. Couldn't sneak any in. But in all seriousness, this is a real fight. You know, this is going to be a bloodbath. This is going to be like the first fight between my father and Nigel Benn. It's going to be special.
Does that mean, following up from that last part, does that mean that more respect from you is now given to Conor Benn, considering that you thought this would be a bit easy work, you famously said a couple of years ago?
You know, I've always respected every fighter I fought, bar one. You know, respect for me is reserved for fighters who are true, who don't cheat. If you cheat, I don't care how many fights you've had, how brave you are, how well you've done, I don't respect you. So no, there is no respect in this fight.
Ooh.
Hey, let me bring you.
Oh.
You've been here before, this stadium, you packed it out, AJ.
Nobody's saying anything.
Just feel a bit more different because of the spice between the two people.
Yeah, I think different and very personal. You know, you saw what happened.
Eddie, come on, Eddie.
Listen, you ain't sitting there just like that.
Come on, Eddie.
What I'll tell you is this.
What do you think?
This is the first
change
time.
in the last 48 hours?
What's changed? And the first time I've heard you talk about the fight.
Nothing has changed.
What has changed is
I did not
we had 130,000 people.
There's no speech you're going to make.
There's been a lot of speech. I'll ask you this. Do you want to win this fight? What desire have you got in boxing now? Honestly. What is this fight all about for you?
This fight is everything. This fight is it's career defining. It's groundbreaking. It means more to me than the money involved.
That's what I want to hear.
It's
I don't believe it and I didn't believe it.
okay, well that's good.
Because it was really.
What you believe is extremely irrelevant to me, my
It's
friend.
not, because I don't know if you want it anymore.
It doesn't matter what you do or don't know. Who are you? I'm here to speak to Conor.
Are you? Speak to him or?
Speak to him, taunt him, find out what's in his mind. Again, you said something absurd in the last press conference. You said this isn't the Chris Eubank Jr. show. Whose show is it? Is it yours?
No, partly. No, I would say,
This show,
I would say it's a partnership.
Chris, you called the IBO World Title winner legend. Shut up, man.
okay, hey,
Like, seriously, like, you're an idiot.
this is what I'm here. I don't want to
You're
hear
an idiot. You fought for the IBO World Title winner legend center. That's like your greatest accomplishment.
But listen, I like what you said about Ben
I
Eubank.
won the IBO 3
And
times.
do you know what? I turned it down. Yeah, the legit's not world title.
Okay.
It's not maybe hard for you to hear. You're an idiot.
Listen, I'll just reverse it. I love the fact you said Ben Eubank won. Fantastic. I hope you want to win this fight badly. What I will say is, the other day I feel like it was a bit of a blessing in disguise. Because
you're speaking for too long,
no,
I don't want
you
to.
keep your mouth.
I don't know how many times I'm going to say it.
Well,
You're not going to get your speech
in our conversation.
No matter any way you weasel your way in, I am not listening to your voice.
You don't have to listen.
I know
You
I
just
don't
have to sit there.
No.
Yes, you do.
I'm not sitting here.
Yeah, you do. Anyway, to the media, a very important
You're
question.
trying to talk over.
Dude, I hate when they do that shit. Like, I understand commercials, but like to put it in the middle like that, like, stop.
We'll fight under a free boxing border control
I
license.
should be sitting where
We have carried that
I
process
can
through.
talk
Very
over this
important.
bullshit for as long as you guys want. I'm enjoying this.
So am I. It doesn't matter.
here all
You're going to
day.
get sparked out
You will
on
not win.
26.
You will not
Sparked
win.
out.
That's good.
You don't care anymore.
Okay, let me do this. What's annoying though, like, I think Chris Eubank Jr., he doesn't want to hear Eddie talk based on the fact that he used to be with Eddie, and that's his personal issues with Eddie. You know?
That's good.
You don't care anymore.
That's good.
Eddie, let's hear it from Conor then. Conor,
Let's hear from
here
Carl.
we go, Conor. This is what you've been waiting for 2.5 years. Reaction to what happened on Tuesday. A lot of people haven't heard from you from what happened on Tuesday. I saw the rage in your face. Here you are now, just a few feet away from the man that did it. What's your
He's an idiot. He's an idiot. That's all there is to say to him. I can't wait for him to get absolutely smashed to pieces April 26th. His own team don't even like him. Look at his team. Watch the press conference. His own team don't even like him. They're pretending. They're pretending.
Ben, you pretending, Ben?
Of course he is. They ain't getting paid.
Come on now, who's at the end there?
Shut up.
Who's at the end?
Listen, don't open your mouth so I come out there and slap you.
You both, that team.
Sorry, Mum.
Who's at the end?
I thought it was Keith Connolly today. No, I can't see. I can't see.
That's Nigel Ben, one of the best middleweights in she's ever produced. Eddie, very quickly, sorry to pause that.
Talk
The ring magazine.
I'm not allowed to
my
talk
best.
for the fourth time tonight.
Very quickly, guys. Let's have some parliamentary procedure, please.
Absolutely.
Parliamentary procedure.
Parliamentary procedure.
Parliamentary procedure. Eddie, the Ring magazine, I've been told, I have a special gift for you.
From His Excellency, yes.
Is it from His Excellency? Someone's going to bring it up.
Hey, where is it?
What is the gift?
Very nice, Eddie.
In a Tottenham Hotspur bag as well.
Thank you, Douglas.
Hey,
How are you, sir? Thank you very much. I walked into His Excellency today and he said this is going to be presented to you at the press conference, isn't it?
If you guys want to hear something really funny, I don't know what this shit is, but you know, this worm actually tried to put in my fight contract that I couldn't say anything negative about promoters
Absolute rubbish.
during the press.
Absolute rubbish. You don't get sued by me. You're being
Well,
sued by us.
this guy has built his whole career around talking shit about people, and then he's going to
You got that well
so
wrong.
that I can't say
You're
anything
right about that.
That's who it is.
That's another thing you got wrong.
That's who it is.
As well as getting dressed today.
One of the big things, by the way, that's a present from the Ring magazine.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you.
One of the big things that came out of the first press conference was that there's a rematch clause put in this. I believe, Ben, you put this rematch clause in.
Can you please not go over this again?
A lot of people didn't come on Tuesday. A lot of people, Chris, didn't come on Tuesday.
I hope you guys go back.
Our rematch clause is put in, Ben. What's the rematch clause put in?
There's a rematch clause, and that's it. Let's talk about something exciting. In fact, I have something that's been bothering me for years now, and I'm gonna get it off my chest. The first fight, 20,000 people bought tickets, hotel rooms, plane tickets, accommodation. They planned the whole weekend around this fight. None of them were compensated by Eddie, Matthew, Conor. Worse than that was the undercard. There were a number of fighters who went through entire camps, and camps are not cheap. You know, thousands, if not tens of thousands of pounds are spent on trainers, gym fees, nutritionists, physiotherapists, These fighters all paid for their camps. They lost all that money. They were never compensated. And that's always bothered me. Obviously, I wasn't compensated for what I spent either, but that's neither here nor there. I just want to set that wrong right now and say that from my purse for this fight, I will be giving £50,000 to the fighters on the undercard to split between them.
Each.
To cover some of the losses that they I don't know, it's okay. I'm not doing this for awards. One thing I will say is that I hope Eddie and Corner both put up their own £50,000 because they're all lot fighters.
Well, what we did was everybody fought instantly. So, but thank you, that's a lovely gesture. I'll let everyone know.
Said lovely gesture.
Where to invoice 50 grand. That'd be good.
You obviously won't be receiving anything.
It's I do think it's a lovely touch. Everybody fought immediately and they all, got active. But I think it's a lovely touch. I'll go back over the card, I'll find out who was on, and I will get
I
that.
don't do any of it.
You won't, because you talk bollocks. You won't actually do it, because you're a bit, you won't.
I'm the one person in the room that does it.
Oh, leave off.
I'm the one person in the room that is more worried about the repercussions.
Listen.
With other fighters, we can't say anything to Eddie, we can't say anything about Eddie because he's not the money. I don't give a shit.
All right.
Oh, that's good.
But that's a lovely gesture.
I know it's a lovely gesture.
Very nice.
Keeping on the subject of purses and money, many of you would have heard that Eddie boasting about the 60-40 split that he secured for his team and Conor and himself. Just an absolute lie, which is not surprising.
I thought it was 70-30, but
Yeah. You said 60-40. The truth of it is, Uncle Turkey flew in and saved the day like the superhero that he is. This is Saudi show. He called me, he said, what do you want to make this fight? I want it. Tell me what you want. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, I've got to be a businessman here now. And any good businessman in any negotiation, they start with an aggressively high number. And then there's counter offers and there's counter offers and compromises and eventually get down to the number that's agreed. So I gave him a diabolical number. I gave him an inconceivable number. And he said, done. I'll send you the contract on Monday. And I'm thinking, I could have got more there. I could have got a Lambo or a couple of watches added in. But you know what? I was happy with the deal. I'm not greedy.
You're not greedy enough.
No, not at all.
Anyway,
The point of the story is there is no splits, there's no percentages. He didn't negotiate.
I was only putting a plonker. Why are you getting
Oh yeah, now it's just a joke. Before it was serious.
What we did, we got the number we were happy with.
That's
We
right.
got the number that we think provided value for His Excellency.
That's right.
The difference between
He
you and
lied to
I,
the public in front of
he
everybody,
wants,
and now I'm setting it straight.
he wants to beat you. To get the money.
Oh, well, that is true because he did say Tuesday, yeah, that's why I got my fighter 60 and you got 40. I mean, he did say that. So, yeah, that is true. I mean, that's a good counterpunch from Chris. I do think it's obnoxious, though. Like, you could tell the personal grudge is just shining through. You know what I mean? That's what you're listening to. You're listening to a guy that has an issue with the other guy. Not actually the negotiation at hand. It's just how Chris Eubank feels about Eddie Hearn. That's what we're dealing with.
This is not about the money for Conor Bennett. This is only about the money for you.
No, it's not.
It is.
And again, why are you speaking to me?
because you're speaking.
I'm about you. I'm not.
You're saying this, I don't want you to your head referee. All you do is talk about it.
I don't want to hear you anymore. If you lie to the public,
Well, he did say that.
if you lie to the public, I'm going to expose you.
Look at Connor's like, dude, this dude don't ever shut up.
Bullshit, I'm going to call it out.
Then if I'm doing that,
You lie to the public, I'm saying straight.
better than 60-40.
No, listen, you did a terrible job for your guy. We got everything. The point is, His Excellency Take Sheikh, he owns the show, Saudi owns the show. They're getting the pay-per-view, the tickets, all that stuff, and he's guaranteeing me and Connor our purses.
Thank you very much. And it's going to be the biggest fight in British boxing history.
Absolutely.
All down to you.
Yeah, well done. Well done, Derek. Thank you. Thank you. Let's hear from someone that wasn't at the conference on Tuesday. That's the trainer of Conor Ben, Tony Sims. Tony, you're the man that's got to get Conor ready to have the toughest fight of his career, get Conor ready to jump a couple of weight classes. How confident are you that you can get the job done come April 26th?
Yeah, it's actually nice to talk about boxing and the fight. And yeah, it's been a long time coming. And we started camp a couple of weeks ago out in Mallorca, and obviously we've come back for the press conference. But as you know, Conor's last couple of fights have been at 154. So 160 ain't too big a jump for him. And he'll be in great condition on the night, and we've obviously got our game plan, and Chris has got his game plan. And as Eddie was saying, it's probably the biggest fight in British boxing. We all know the dads had two great fights. I was actually at the second fight at Old Trafford. I was friends, obviously, and then David and Nigel. I remember the build up to that fight, the atmosphere that brought, and I believe 30 years on, the atmosphere and we're all looking forward to such a great night. I think it's going to be an absolute fantastic fight. Conor's going to bring that ferociousness to the fight. You know, he's a carbon copy of his dad. Chris has obviously got the experience and a bit of weight on him, and he's a carbon copy of his dad as well. So I think we're all in for a great night of boxing.
Let's stay on that side. Let's welcome in Nigel Ben. Nigel, obviously, look, you're fully confident your son can get the job done, but you know more than that.
100%. I don't see it going past 4 rounds. And we're like, they say like Conor's jumping up 2 weights. Conor walks around at 12 stone. I know my son. If Ian Smith gave him the problem that he did in the first fight, that's Ian Smith. He don't punch like Conor. He does not punch like Conor, and I know Conor can do 12 rounds. Me personally, like I said yesterday or Tuesday, I said I'm more confident in this fight than I had with being Chris Senior. I just think that Conor's just gonna go out there, mate, and just give it to him, put it on him. And I know he will do that. I'm 100% confident in Conor doing that. I'm so relaxed, so sure. I know what my son can do. He's actually the best, a much better fighter than me. I could never box like Conor. I was just going in and have a bang, I just want to have a war. But Conor's got all of it in his locker, mate. Every single thing. I'm so confident. I don't see it going past 4 rounds. And it's not even 4 rounds. It's like when Conor catches it. When Conor catches him, it could be round 1, round 2. I don't see it going past 4 rounds, and that's my opinion, and that's what I believe. I know what my son can do, and he fights bigger guys inspiring than him. That hard. I just know my boy, and I'm so confident.
Conor, your whole team.
Okay. All right, Babs. All right. The question is, I want to know, Kurt, where do you see AJ going? Hearn has to be a 3-time world champion. Sorry, I'm not seeing that. Can you tell me something I don't know? I mean, I think that's the whole plan. I think the whole thing, honestly, for Joshua can be a 3-time heavyweight champion. The only thing is where, when. If he stays in long enough, he can become one. Unless he just absolutely completely goes to shit. If he does that, he just won't be. But that won't be because of the opposition. I think at some point, let's say Dubois gets the opportunity to fight Usyk. Usyk beats him. Then he becomes the 2-time undisputed champion of the world. Then at some point, Usyk will retire. Once he retires, all those belts go back. And then AJ could fight for the WBA, the WBC, the WBO, or the IBF. Okay. He could fight for one of those belts and get that particular belt. He could become 3-time, and it depends on who Eddie matches him up with. He could be someone easy that AJ can take out. And AJ's just not going to get whooped by a Joe Blow. But then again, this is AJ past 35. So, it is what it is. So no, I'm just listening to the press conference because I enjoy the back and forth, I understand. I appreciate you guys' patience to listen to it with me. So here we go.
Just before we move on, I got to just say something. I understand the frustration and the heat that you were experiencing a couple of days ago after I had Conor.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought you actually glassed it, mate. And I thought I nearly got my hand around your throat.
I understand.
Yeah.
But you did put your hand on my neck.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you a pass because of what happened, but I'm just letting you know if your hand ever touches me again, you won't get it back.
Shut your fucking mouth, Jimmy.
Oh! Oh!
I'm not threatening him. I'm just
No. Do you know what I said? There's
Come on, people, if I got it, I can handle this, mate. I'm old school, mate. I get to be stand, I'm old school, mate. So this is not a problem. I understand, and I apologize for doing that, mate. I really am sorry that I've done that. You know what I mean? You put your hand on my son.
Yeah,
I did that because
he's just upset with his dad unliking. Right, he's upset his dad unliking.
Yeah, I know.
He can't shut your mouth.
nobody.
Shut your mouth. Your dad don't like you. Understand? No. Just admit it.
I'm here.
Just admit it. That's
I'm
it.
ready to go.
That's it. Look at your team. Dysfunctional.
You know what it is I think at the end of the day, like I said, it's like I just know what's going to happen. Listen to me. I'm telling you, this does not go for 4 rounds.
Okay, we got it.
I'm telling you, no, you're going to be done. For sure, 100% sure. So confident in what my son can do.
Colin, the team's obviously full of confidence. You're the man that's going to the ring, jumping up a couple of weight classes.
Dude, this was kind of weird because I thought Chris was going to say something like, oh, yeah, you put your hands on me, I understand, I egged your son and whatever, and he was just like, you do that shit. You ever put your hands on me again, you put your hands around my neck, you won't get it back. And I'm just like, okay. I think that was unnecessary because, like, yeah, I know, right? And see, the thing is, though, Chris didn't have to say that. I mean, bro, because Nigel is older, and I don't, and this is what I'll say to keep it a buck, to keep it 100. I don't feel that Conor would say that about Chris Eubank Sr. I don't think he would ever do that to Chris Eubank Sr. You know what I mean? And see, here's the thing. If that happened, I don't think that Conor would do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he would do that. I think Chris, yeah, he got choked, but for him just saying, oh, if you do that again, like, there's no reason to even say that shit. You know why he choked your ass, because it was in the heat of the moment. You knew that. So there was no need, well, if you do that again, you won't get it back. I'm just telling you do. Like, why would you even have to talk to him about what if he does again? Basically, you initiated that shit. You initiated that man choking you because you hit his son. You damn right he's going to do what he's going to do. He's a fighter. Don't matter how old you are. Run up on Teddy Atlas and push Teddy Atlas and see what Teddy Atlas does. And Teddy Atlas is fucking, 72, 73 years old? How old is Teddy Atlas? Let's see. How old is Teddy Atlas? The legend. How old is Teddy Atlas? He's 68, so he's not even 70. But run up on that man and push him. You're going to have a fight of your life from a guy from a senior citizen. Teddy Atlas is going, bah, bip, 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 He's going to tear you in. He's going to tear into you. And it's going to be just like that. So when Chris did that, you know what I mean? He thought he hit him with something. He did hit him with something. You know. The script from the Book of Eli. They thought Eubank Jr. glass bend, so Fist's first reaction would be like that. Yeah. But, you know, nah. Planet Fiji! Love from the New Zealand building. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Teddy Atlas is crazy. Once he had a gun to young Mike Tyson's temple for trying to impose himself on his brother. I mean, he is crazy. I mean, he's just intense. That ain't crazy. That's just being a real dude. He's going to kill Mike. He didn't have to worry. Look, see, at some point, you have to understand, well, it ain't no sense of fighting that little mini Neanderthal, that Croagnic man. He was a little young Croagnic man, horny and shit. I want some pussy. I want pussy. And then, you know, Teddy was like, yo, that's my niece. Do that to my niece and let me find out about it. Whoever that is. I'm going to fucking kill you. Point blank. So that ain't crazy. I mean, that's just, you know what I mean? That's not, that, you know, I respect Teddy for that. And in fact, you know, fun fact, maybe it was about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. Maybe it was a little longer than that. It was kind of recent. Mike Tyson seen Teddy Atlas, and I think it was probably on an HBO show. So this was a while ago. And he walked up to him and he apologized to him. I mean, after years. I mean, Teddy Atlas and Mike Tyson ain't been in the same place for a very, 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 very long time. I mean, decades. Because that shit happened probably in the late 80s, right? Early 90s. So, yeah, I mean, you know, it was late 80s. He was a kid when he pulled that shit. And see, Teddy used to work with Mike. Teddy, Mickey Rooney, Customato, you know, those guys used to all work with Mike. They had Mike's best interest. You know, everybody respected Cuss. Cuss adopted Mike. Mike was the adopted son of Customato. So when you see Mike Tyson shed tears about talking about Cuss, he's talking about his stepfather that raised him from that street bullshit mentality that he was used to a hardcore, disciplined farm life of being a destructive warrior that he was taught and trained to be with Customato. That's what that's about. When you see Mike break down when he's talking about Cuss, he's talking about his dad. He's talking about the guy that raised him. He didn't have no daddy before that. I mean, he didn't have a dad. He might have had a father some fucking where, a pimp somewhere, but he did not have a dad. Cuss D'Amato was Mike Tyson's dad. Okay, so when so Teddy Atlas was more like his stepbrother because Cuss had kids there with troubled children. Let me tell you guys another thing. I was probably about 27 years old. I was 27. And I was working at this call center. And one thing about, this is like 2007, something like that. I talked to a guy that grew up because first of all, I used to work for Comcast Cable. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Comcast. It's like a Time Warner cable company. I took calls. Most of them were billing and shit like that. So most people would call in mad, like, my fucking bill is so high. And I'm like, oh, God, you know. Then you got to explain it to them. Well, then we had another department of like high-speed internet, you know, or tech support. So I was technical support too. So I used to because we used to have these calls in queue. And my slick ass, it's better to talk to one person 2 or 3 hours versus talking to 50 people in 2 or 3 hours. You know, so what I would do, I would find someone real cool to talk to, you know, just to kind of make the time go by. Shit, I was ready for lunch or, you know, the clock out time. So anyway, I ran into a guy and I was talking to him and, you know, of course, you know, I love boxing. So we started talking about boxing. Well, this cat grew up with Teddy Atlas and And he said, like, Teddy was a very troubled child. You know, he was a troubled kid, and then I think he had some. And this is what I can remember him saying. He was like, "Yeah, man, he had a bad thing. I think his parents burned up in a house fire that he might have caused or something. So he was real troubled." I'm like, "What the?" You know, and I'm hearing this, and I'm thinking, like, you know, this was a long time ago. This was almost 20 years ago. So it was 18 years ago. So, and he was telling me about this, you know, and then he was just like, "Yeah, man, I remember Teddy." And Teddy, you know, boxing pretty much saved Teddy, you know, because Teddy, you know, used to get in fights. Teddy had a very bad temper. That's why Teddy had this big scar on his face, because he was involved in the street fight and stuff like that. You know, that's why you see that. You'll still see that scar on his face, you know. But no, I mean, Mike Tyson and Teddy Atlas. Teddy was older, needless to say, because Mike's 58, Teddy's 68. So he's 10 years older than Mike, you know. So he's like his like big brother or whatever. So when that happened, you know, Cuss fired Teddy, and Teddy couldn't train Mike no more. But he was around Mike probably a long time, bro. So yeah. Um, Teddy Atlas is about 78. No, he ain't. He ain't that old. He's not that old. He's 68. He was born in 56. Yeah, he's 58. July 29th. Tetley sounds older, so mumbled. Yeah, he does sound old. Yeah, shit, go figure. But yeah, so no, Teddy Atlas is, you know, you run up on Teddy will fight you to this day, and probably will whoop your ass if you don't know. You better hit him first. You know what I mean? Because if you give him time to set up, he's probably gonna 4 or 5 piece you.
To be honest, I ain't got nothing to say. There's no question you can ask me. You mate, I can't wait to smash your head in. Mission, I can't wait to smash your head in. Mission, listen, I've heard enough of your boys talking shit this whole time. You get again on Tuesday. Just shut your mouth. April 26, you're getting your head smashed in.
I can't wait, my friend. I can't wait.
All right, let's get a couple of final words from Ben Shalom. Ben, here we are for day one. Again, we didn't even need to do this press conference. I thought that the event's sold already, the tickets. Tell us it's sold already. But again, we are so close to something so special.
Yeah, it's crazy. Honestly, 130,000 people in the waiting room. I've never seen it. It's on a pre-sale. The biggest event this year. I do have to question when Eddie says they didn't do it for money. They had an opportunity to fight for a world title. It's clearly for money. It's clearly a cash out. It's clearly 2 fights. Probably the last 2 fights of Conor's career. But this will be the biggest fight we've seen in the past 2 decades, whether people like it or not, in British boxing. And that's what it's about. And as I say, I have to thank the media, I have to thank everyone that got behind this event, because this is special. And on April 26th, we're going to see something that we've not seen before.
I can always tell from the media turnout just how big an event this is. You've been involved in some enormous events. This must be right up there with some of the biggest you've done.
I'd like them to do it now.
Eddie. Come on, Eddie.
I'll say what.
You know what's going to happen.
Well, you try to go.
Just don't say anything.
Okay.
Just
I'll say this.
I
wish you could do it now.
Okay.
Now.
Good.
Out there.
That's
Now.
enough. That's enough. That's
I'm going to enjoy every minute.
Let's not get excited.
I'm too excited. Too excited. It's going to be sweet as a nut. Thank you.
I feel rude if I don't ask Ronnie Davis a couple of words. Ronnie, you sat on the top table. You've experienced this type of animosity with their fathers. Exactly the same. What's it feel like when the sons are showing this type of attitude as well?
It's no different to me. First of all, I was privileged to be in the first fight man, which was electric. I never thought I'd be privileged enough to do it again with the son. It's unbelievable. It's going to be a great fight. May the best man win, which will not be you, Bex. No disrespect, Tony Simmons, Nigel, Connor. He's too big for you, mate. He weighs,
Davis, don't start with that chicken talk.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I'm too good. You're going to tell I'm too good. Come on.
never rephrase it, will you? Anyway, he's too good for him. He's too fast, he's too hard, he's too clever. Eubanks is brilliant, and he's going to smash Ben. How's that?
That's good.
I know you don't say much. I know you don't even want to be on the top 10. But I've got to ask you, any final words to Jonathan Banks?
I never said I wouldn't be here, but I've been a part of a lot of fights and box cards, British guys fighting each other. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a big fight, and as it's been repeated over and over again, both guys can't wait to get their hands on each other. And me personally, I'm looking forward to it.
Should be a cracking fight. Remember, tickets go on general sale tomorrow at Ticketmaster.com at midday. The fight will be live on the Zone worldwide and in the UK. No Derek, no questions. And we'll be live on Sky Sports Box Office in the UK as well. Okay, one question, Derek.
You can't ask Eddie a question. We know
What
what.
a shame. Sorry, Derek. You can't answer the question.
He doesn't have permission to talk.
You're so confident that you're fighting when you're so confident that you're fighting when you got no one making a battle, 100 grand Bentley.
Yeah.
100 grand bet.
Thank you for letting me another 100 grand. I appreciate it, Eric. I think I'm earning more than you, mate. I know you're seeing your deal. I know you're earning more than you. Just be careful, mate. I'll show you what I'm earning.
Right, the fighters are going to go face off.
Oh, snap. Face off, guys.
You ready for this one? Well, thank you so much, everyone, for attending the press conference. And we'll see you here April 26th.
Okay, so let me see if something's crazy happened here. They've checked them, so there won't be any eggs, but, you know, there's going to be something. I don't know where it's going to be. Let's see.
People don't get on people.
Oh yeah, they had to have some distance, yeah, because bro, somebody's gonna do something, you know, somebody's gonna say something. Uh-oh.
As I said this.
Connor wanted to get close. Yeah. Yeah, this is very, very, very nostalgic in a way, but new in a way. The Eubanks versus the Bens. That's crazy. Eubank Jr. versus Ben. Rivalry. Ties that bind. That's what I'm going to label it. Ties that bind. Kurt, what do you think about Bivol versus Jaya Pataya? I don't know. I think Jaya Pataya is bigger. I don't know if he hits harder than Beterbiev. If Bivol can take the punches, I think Bivol can outbox Jaya Pataya just based on his speed, but then he'll be at another weight class too. So a lot of things could take place. Yeah, they're not, you know, it's kind of like, you know, they're trying to keep each other away. They're trying to keep each other away.
That's the thing, and I cannot wait until we get in the middle of that part.
Well, that's all, folks, on that. Let's try to answer some of these questions. How would you rate Tyson from 86 to 88 amongst the greatest heavyweights division? I think Tyson was just unstoppable. That was the era of invincibility for him. That was his prime. That was his peak. From 86 to 88, nobody could beat Mike Tyson. I'm sorry, just nobody was going to beat Mike. Mike had everything. You could put Joe Frazier there. You could put Larry Holmes there. You could put, which Larry Holmes was there. But I mean, a prime Larry Holmes. He was going to beat him too. Rocky Marciano would have been destroyed. Easy work for Mike. It would have just been painful because Rocky, you know, he fights with the will of iron. His mentality was crazy. I rank him top five. Love the memories of Gene Hackman. Yeah, shout out to Gene Hackman too, man. Unforgiven, Get Shorty, Hoosiers, Yeah, he was Enemy of the State. I might watch Enemy of the State tonight. Good actor, bro. They found him passed away with his wife, 95 years of age. You know, I mean, 95, I mean, how long can you live, so but yeah, definitely. I like Crimson Tide. Mike had his opponents before they stepped in the ring. Probably so. Mike had them, That's what happens when you get in front of a bulldog. Yeah. Very suspicious death. Well, he probably, and I don't know, some people want to take their death in their own hands, especially when you get to that age. Yeah, that was crazy. Him and his wife, yeah, that was kind of weird. I mean, maybe he's seen his wife pass and he probably took something, to help himself along because if you're with someone 60 years, that you know, a lot of people, man, die of a broken heart, shit. But hey, God bless him, man. Good actor. Hey, movies are forever, right? Movies are forever. So he in 30 years, someone you know will be watching those movies of Gene Hackman. Someone in 50 years will be watching Will Smith and Gene Hackman of Enemy of the State and was like, wow, this is actually a really good movie to be so old. You know what I mean? Oh, before AI, right? So, yeah, she was only 63, though. Okay. Well, you know, that is a difference. Damn. 32 years difference. So, what do you do? His dog died, too. Something weird happened. Yeah. He said, everybody coming with me. Shit, he pulled a Jim Jones in there or something. Anthony Joshua versus John Cena wouldn't be that bad. Come on, bro. John Cena. Come on. He went away peacefully. I don't know how peacefully he went away. Can't say that.
Back he's young enough and still fresh.
He didn't feel anything. How the hell you know? We don't know that. It might have been excruciating for the time during the process. You know. But yeah, man. Artur Beterbiev, I would like to see him. I would like to see what he does. I mean, I think he spanks everyone else. I think those guys are. I would want their third fight to be a draw. You know what I mean? I would love that, just to just have it an even split, because I don't want to take anything away from any guy, Bivol or Beterbiev. Um, Mark Bakole, we'll see how it pans out. He can only trust in Turkey at this point because Turkey has made him promises that I hope he's able to keep. Right? Tyson Fury versus Usyk 3. Nah, I don't think Tyson cares no more because Tyson he took the I was robbed route. So Artur moves up to cruiserweight. I mean, he could do that. Now, and I would like to see a fight with him and Jaya Pataya. That would be dope. I think that would be a better fight because it's like fire against fire instead of fire against finesse, like it was with Bibble. I think it would be fire versus fire, and anybody that fights like that would be dope, you know. But I would love Mario Maru. I would love for Beterbiev to move up there and to take on and to to become a two-time undisputed champion. Then he'll be up there with like Usyk and cats like that. Anthony Joshua versus Otto Weiland too. Yeah, that's bullshit. The fact Beterbiev has knocked out everyone apart from Bivol shows how good Bivol is. Yeah, that's right. Shows a lot. So it is what it is. Like Chris is looking, and who the hell is Chris looking at? He's looking like somebody he's watching somebody. I don't know who the hell he's watching. It's crazy. Okay, they're on the football field, I think. Yeah. The fact Beterbiev has knocked out everyone. Okay. Anthony Joshua beats P. Diddy. Let it be a draw and let Artur retire. Yeah, I'd be all right with that. You know what I mean? I'd be all right with that. I would be all right with that. You know. I just wanted to see some knockdowns or something, man. There was no knockdowns. It was like Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin. I mean, and just Gennady got too old. I just don't want that to be Artur. I don't want Artur to be like Triple G, because that was sad, because you could tell you guys are fighting someone that just got old. It ain't you beating them. It's time beating them. And then you're adding insult to injury, fighting someone that old, that knowing that time already beat them, right? So, no. Artur versus Joe Apataya would be awesome. Absolutely. I would love it. I would love that fight. Do you think the card was good as you hoped? It was all right. I mean, I enjoyed it. I really did. There were some challenges in that fight. It really was. Yeah, there were, a couple cancellations, right? So, I mean, it was all right. Billy Joel, 75, loses his balance and topples over on a stage after throwing his microphone. He looked frail. Damn, Billy Joel. I like Billy Joel, though. Joe Parker versus Huey Fury 2. Nah, Huey Fury should fight Michael Hunter. He pissed over a year from messing with that guy. Carlos Adamas got done dirty. He did. They should have a second fight and give Adamas some money. Make all these fighters rich, bro. They're putting their life on the line, so at least they can go buy them a house, a good plot of land. I would buy me somewhere out in the, buy me a big house out in the country. Kurt, where the F is Dubois? Are they hiding behind a failed chest? I'm not sure, Brandon. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We'll talk about that tomorrow, because that's exactly what, Parker's talking. They want to see justice. So we have to talk about that tomorrow. That's going to be tomorrow's live chat. But I enjoyed you guys today. We will reconvene tomorrow at around 11 o'clock. I think that's a good time, maybe 12 noon. And you guys be blessed. Enjoy your Thursday. And everyone has been counterpunched. Friday, TGIF. I will be back, and we will talk about Dubois, Joseph Parker, and his doubts. I'll get Cabell in his future. Until then, everyone has been counterpunched. Peace.